And we're going to take a look at a new service that will soon link workers looking to upskill with companies seeking to fill vacancies. And the Jobs-Skills Integrators is a new initiative aimed at equipping and empowering workers as economic competition hots up globally. Lauren Wong with more.
A state-of-the-art facility and a nerve center for students training to be precision engineers. There could be more of them in the future as the government ramps up the sector by training workers and matching them to firms who need them.
In his budget speech, Finance Minister Wong says this will be facilitated by an intermediary, the new Jobs-Skills Integrator. They will ensure workers' training needs are identified, tailored and translated into better economic prospects, something that's missing in the current labour market.
We all know that it is good to have more skills training, but training programs can vary in quality. Some lead to recognized certifications or help workers gain specialized skills that are sought after by industry, but others may not be so relevant to industry needs.
By engaging companies, these integrators will identify manpower and skills gaps in a sector. That's before working with training providers to update existing programs or develop new ones. The pilot will be rolled out in sectors with more mature workers and small-medium enterprises. That includes precision engineering on top of retail and wholesale trade. Nanyang Polytechnic says precision engineers are hard to come by, and developing local talent will give Singapore a competitive edge in a high-growth sector.
More importantly, actually, is to build up the next generation of people who will bring us to the next phase of industry revolutions for advanced manufacturing, where precision engineering is the core to make this possible.
Several ongoing employment support schemes will also be enhanced. First, a 2.4 billion top-up to the Progressive Wage Credit Scheme, a fund for lower-wage workers. 2 ongoing schemes to support senior workers will be extended for 2 years. There will also be more wage subsidies for firms hiring persons with disabilities who have been unemployed for at least 6 months.
The moves I have outlined represent a major investment in our enterprises and people, from SMEs to large companies and workers across various life stages and different forms of employment. We are doing all this so that our workers and businesses can be well prepared for the future, with all its uncertainties, challenges and opportunities.
Mr. Wong encourages employers and workers to make full use of the support. They can upgrade their businesses, invest in innovation, and look to reskilling and upskilling to stay competitive. He says that's how Singapore will achieve quality growth in an economy that works for all.
Also announced at Budget 2023, financial sweeteners to encourage more firms to hire ex-offenders. The government will be introducing the Uplifting employment credit scheme in the form of a time-limited wage offset. Chloe Chu reports.
With $4 billion and
equal opportunities for everyone, a key message in Finance Minister Wong's budget speech. To better help ex-offenders secure jobs, Mr. Wong says the government will offer wage compensations to employers who hire them. But he stresses that financial incentives alone are not enough.
We also need dedicated efforts on the ground through organizations and their community partners, as well as close cooperation with employers to provide meaningful job opportunities.
It's a sentiment echoed by Yellow Ribbon Singapore, a rehabilitative agency for inmates and ex-offenders. It says while cash support is helpful in nudging employers to hire, more must be done to change their mindset in the long term.
When they leave their physical prison, they actually find themselves stepping into a second social prison. And this stigma of incarceration might mean that they become less likely to be hired, or they may be looked upon with suspicion. This criminal record is a permanent one, where an ex-offender, even when they are changing jobs, they will have to face the same stigmatization all over again. So this is the part where community and family support are crucial.
That's why Yellow Ribbon holds frequent talks and workshops with employers and community partners to help match ex-inmates with future bosses. It also ensures salaries are aligned with market rate. Details of the scheme will be announced during the Manpower Ministry's Committee of Supply debate next month.
For more, we're joined by Kurt Wee, Council Member of the Singapore Business Federation. He is also President of the Association of Small and Medium Enterprises. Mr. Wee, let's focus on the announcements that relate to workers from your perspective representing businesses. First of all, that matchmaking service called the Jobs-Skills Integrator that aims to, ensure training hits the mark. So how would businesses benefit?
I think if you look at business needs, they've really been facing a lot of manpower crunch. And as a country, we really need to look at the segments of population whereby we could put more into productive work and employment. There's also the need to probably do job redesign, and enterprises also have a role to play in employing these segments that may be less employable, the disabled or even the yellow ribbon offenders. And, the job initiators would actually help in matching the candidates to the companies. And this will hopefully help to fill the manpower shortages that some of the companies are facing. But I don't think it will be a sufficient fix. But, we have to do our best with the human capital that we have in Singapore.
Mr. Wee, many of your members are facing a double whammy of a manpower crunch, as you talked about, and rising cost pressures. How would you weigh the incentives to hire people with disabilities, ex-offenders and senior workers? Bear in mind that, there could be a high cost of labour for some of these groups due to changes to CPF contribution rates.
Well, the job design is going to be quite important. And I think helping companies with intergenerational workforce within the company, and then actually training, helping companies actually get a greater level of awareness that disability may not mean that they're not employable. They may be disabled in one way, but actually the part that you need them to function may not be their handicap. We've seen, for example, a very high-end jewelry designer and jewelry maker. He hires disabled workers, he trains them, and they become skilled and they make top-end titanium jewelry in Singapore. So there's a lot of scope to train and match and then get this employment going, and it will help to alleviate the manpower pressures that companies are facing. But we think part of the solutions may be that companies also need to consider that certain job functions or divisions within their company, they may need to start to look at how they can offshore or establish overseas units to sort of supplement their Singapore capacity.
Oh, thanks for that, Mr. Wee. Now, Budget 2023 also saw measures to support businesses to help them upskill their workers and raise productivity. We'll be going through all that with Kurt Wee later in the program.